Hello guys, this is me Thomas Bogaty. I want to thank you and I want to welcome you today in Bible TV. And today I'm going to talk about a very important topic which is necessary for all the Christians around the world to understand. And today I'm going to talk about, is there caste system in Bible? Was Hinduism influenced by the caste system that was mentioned in the Bible? There are many people who believe that the caste system actually existed in the Bible. Yeah, many Hindus, they argue that the caste system was actually originated in the Bible. It was practiced in the Bible, and there are many debaters, there are many theologians, there are many scholars in Hinduism that they argue that actually in Vedas the caste system was not there in the beginning, but later on it actually got introduced from the Christians. It was introduced from the Bible, and they give certain kind of references that was mentioned in the Bible. For example, during the time of Abraham, during the time of Moses, it was said that they have to go into various kind of places and they have to, wage war against various kind of tribes, Canaanites, Hittites, and many other tribes that were outside the Jews. So many of the Hindus, they argue that the caste system was actually introduced in the Hinduism from the Bible. And you know what? I want to explain you some kind of background before explaining you about whether the Bible was the one that actually introduced the caste system, or was it in the Hinduism that actually introduced the caste system. So let me actually introduce you the background behind the caste system. So in Hinduism there are four types of caste. First is Brahmin, the second one is Kshatriyas, third one is Vaishyas, the fourth one is Sudras. Brahmins are the high caste known as the priest. Second caste is Kshatriyas. They belong to administrators and belong to a royal family. Vaishyas are the merchants, and the Sudras, they are the farmers. And in Vaishyas and Sudras, they are considered as untouchables by the Brahmins and Kshatriyas according to Hindu text, and they were mistreated. And you know what, like slaves were mistreated by many other countries, in the same way this lower caste was mistreated by Indians and sub-Indian continents. And this kind of things, they are increasing more and more, and those kind of things are causing hatred, violence, and the lower caste people were exempt from various kind of privileges and advantages and social stratification and benefits that happened in the Hindu society. And so they give us the reference from the Bible that it was from the Bible that the caste system was introduced. No, the caste system was actually not introduced from the Bible. It was actually a pure Hindu practiced in India from the time of Vedas, and there was no influence of Christianity there. That's why there is always this faction, there is always this fight between Hindus and Christians and Muslims in India, and even in the neighboring countries like Nepal and Bhutan and Sri Lanka. You will find out that there is no caste system even in Muslim countries, and you will find out that there is no caste system even in the religion of Jews, Judaism. There is no caste system there. So however, there is some kind of mention about the untouchability in the Bible. If you look at the book of Genesis, you will find out that the Egyptians were highly civilized, who had their own countries so highly standard that they considered the work of shepherds to be the work of menials, and said they did not get along with the Israelites. When Joseph was like a prime minister or second power to the Pharaoh, and they were actually kept in Goshen to look after the cattle, to refuse themselves. And you know what, Egyptians, they did not like the Israelites, and they were considered as untouchables. You know what, the Egyptians, they did not eat together with the Jews, and that is a fact, and that is written in the Bible. And even if you look at the other scriptures, you'll find out that in the New Testament, Jesus is found, having fellowship with this Samaritan woman. Samaritan woman was considered as untouchable. Samaritan tribe was considered as untouchable, not only by the Jews but also by other tribes in the world. They were considered as menial people, and they were considered as low caste people, not a caste like it was practiced in Hinduism, but similar to a kind of tribe. This tribe was considered as a very lower tribe. They were given a very low type of jobs. And Jesus tells us some sort of parable where a certain man, maybe a businessman, was injured while he was traveling to Jericho, and these priests come, Jews come, Israelites come, and what they do not actually take care of this poor and sick person that was beaten by thieves. And suddenly a Samaritan person that goes along there, he finds this injured Jew, and he takes him to a place to providing him medical care, providing him a wine, providing him oil to heal his wounds. And Jesus says that Samaritan man was the true neighbor of this Jew. So it's very important to realize who can be our true neighbor. It's not based on caste, it's not based on our blood relationship, it's not based on our genes, it's not based on our family members. It's exclusive of our family members when it comes to neighbors. When you are in trouble, the person who helps you is the person who is a true neighbor. So in Hinduism, we have this caste system very different from the stratification that is happening around the world. So there is this caste system in Hinduism that they have actually stratified according to the birth. So if you are born in a Brahmin family, you are a Brahmin. If you are born in a Kshatriya family, you are a Kshatriya. If you are born in a Vaishya family, you are a Vaishya. If you are born in a Sudra family, you are a Sudra. So it's no matter how much you study, no matter how much capability you have to run the country, to run the administration, you are never allowed to come into this position of Kshatriyas and position of Brahmins. And they always mistreated these people called lower caste people, and that's a sad story. There is one theory that many Hindus believe, that how this caste system came into their country, how this caste system came into the Hindu society. They believe that it is from the gods that caste system was created. For example, they believe that they have three main gods like Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. So out of this god, they believe that Brahma is the most supreme and the ancient one, and it is believed that through the head of Brahma, the first caste, the supreme caste, Brahmins were born, Brahmins were made. And Kshatriyas, they were comprised of this chest part, and the Vaishyas, they are composed of these thighs of this Brahma, and the Sudras, they're like a part that is from feet of a Brahma. So so they believe that the feet and the leg part should obey the chest part and the upper parts of the body and the head. So the instruction flows all the way from the head. The head is Brahmin, the neck and the chest and the upper body part is Kshatriyas, and the lower body parts like the Vaishyas, the thighs and knees and feet and legs, they are Sudras or Vaishyas. So the instruction goes in that way, and the stratification of the society goes in that way. And due to this, the Vaishyas and Sudras were treated as slaves, and the economic conditions were really bad. They were also considered as untouchables. The Brahmins and Kshatriyas, they even did not like talking to them, and they were mistreated. They were given harsh punishments, and they were kept away from reading the religious scriptures. They were not allowed to be priests. They were not allowed to be soldiers. They were not allowed to be involved with the royal family and the courtiers. And these problems, they brought a lot of violence in the country. So even Gautam Buddha, who belonged to a royal family, he tried to reform this practice, but the Hindus, the priests, they did not want to reform this practice. Like Jesus, he reformed the untouchability. He said that untouchability should not be practiced. He said that Samaritan person can be a true friend or a true neighbor if he gets help, if he can help the Jews. So in Bible you find out that there is no Greek, there is no Jews, there is no man, there is no woman, there is no free man, there is no slaves. They're all equal in terms of rights. in terms of freedom, in terms of privileges. So we should give privileges to every stratification of the society because they are sons and daughters of God. You know, the Egyptians were really afraid that the Jews were becoming prosperous and they persecuted them. They killed their sons and they tried to eliminate the Jews from their country. And you know what? The Jews, they kept on increasing, kept on increasing. They were persecuted a lot of times, but then they were always preserved from God. Sometimes some of the tribes, they need the help of God to be continually existed into this world. Like the 7 tribes in the Bible mentioned, like many Hindus, they argue that the 7 tribes are like caste, they were like tribes, they were like a different race that Jews, they were interested in killing. But the fact is that the Jew did not intently kill them. Jew did not intently put their idolatry practice into an end. The Jews, before making a war, they wanted to make a peace. You know what? They did not want to attack them, but they did not obey. Since these nations were very powerful, you know what? They have latest developed weapons of that period. Their soldiers were very strong. They were very equipped. However, they were defeated by the short-heighted. You know what? The Jews they were not so tall. They did not have the latest weapons. But in the name of God, with that faith, they fought with giants. They fought with these powerful nations, and they brought that nations down. That is one of the successful story that anyone can hear, and that anyone can listen to be encouraged, to be motivated. You know what? They listen to the story of David and the Goliath. David was a young shepherd, a very immature in warfare. He was very poor compared to Goliath. Goliath was very renowned. He was really famous, and the Israelites were really afraid of various kind of threats that that Goliath was actually speaking in front of all those crowds of soldiers and army. But this David, who was young, who was immature, who was inexperienced in warfare, he actually brought down that person. He killed that person with a single slot of slingshot, just one attack, and he was dead. Isn't that an amazing? So it was the war between the powerful and the weak people. So many Hindus, they must realize, they must understand that the Jews were actually considered as the lower kind of people. They were considered as herdsmen. They were considered as wanderers. They were considered as the people who did not have who did not have permanent shelters, who wandered from one place to another place. They did not have their own country, and other people actually always overlooked them with hatred. You know what? Like they treated them as sand. They treated them as the people very weak, very poor. But somehow these short-heighted people, these people who were considered as the lowest people by those generations, suddenly they were filled with wisdom and knowledge and faith, and they fought back and they won and they got the victory. By the time of David, all the nations were conquered. Isn't that an amazing story? Before fighting, there was discussion for peace, but those nations, they did not want to have peace, and they wanted to wage war against Israelites, and finally Israelites won. Isn't that an amazing story? Same thing can happen here in Nepal. If Dalits, if the people of lower caste, they believe in the mighty God, and if they believe they have their rights, if they believe they are to be free, if they believe that they are not to be put away from the advantages that the people of higher caste are enjoying, if they fight back, there's a chance that these people who are considered as a lower caste can come into our power. Like the Jews, they have come into our power. They were in power. Somehow, due to their sins, they were weak. Due to their weaknesses, they were scattered all over the world, and they lived as a refugee. But later on, again, a nation was built in one day, and 6 Muslim nations, they fought against this country called Israel, and they could not win. In one day, this nation was born. reborn. It was not born but reborn. See how powerfully God can work through weak people. See how God can walk. He can do great things through people whom the world thinks they are worthless, detestful, weak, poor. And these are the things that God keeps in mind. He uses poor people, He uses the weak people, He uses the people that are detestable by the many people around the world. So I actually encourage those who are watching these videos, if you have any Hindu friends that are being mistreated by the people called high caste or the high class of people, I request you to encourage those kind of Dalit people, encourage those kind of people of the lower caste, and tell them and give them examples how Israelites, those who are considered as, people of lower ranks, people with less intellectuality, people with low statures, people with no permanent shelters, when they believed God, they came into a power. So if Dalits or the people of lower caste, if they believe God, they can come into a power. They can come into a power. So I would want to actually highlight the Christians and the non-Christians and the Hindus and Muslims. Nothing is impossible for the God that is worshipped by Jews, the God that is worshipped by Christians. If they worship God, if they obey His commandment genuinely and in a truthful way, they can bring change into these nations. The people who are in low, they can become high if they acknowledge God in their life. So I encourage, if you are people who are considered as Negroes or the black people, or you are hated by the high caste people here in India, if you are Dalit, if you are lower than even Dalit, I'm telling you, God can exalt you. God can lift you up, just as He has lifted the people of Israelites. He is with you. He will help you. Believe Him. So this is what I'm actually trying to tell you. Thank you so much for listening to what I said from the beginning to an end. I would like to tell you more. So after a long time, I have come here to talk to you, to give opinions, to give revelation that I received from the Bible, so that the viewers of this channel would be encouraged. Thank you for more than 7,000 subscribers in this channel. I believe that in the coming days, more subscribers would be added onto this. And if you have liked this video, please don't forget to share it. God bless you all. Have a nice time.